Casey, can you talk some about how you help students learn how to have a conversation together and then build on one another's thinking? How do you structure that up in the classroom so they can take that on?
I help my students learn how to have a conversation or talk back and forth to discuss on their own, but just the beginning of the year, starting with deciding on some talk moves. So like we decided they wanted to make this, I would like to add on to so-and-so, and this, I agree with so-and-so, and I disagree with so-and-so. Those are basically the three that we use. And then they just start practicing them.
I heard them too, they sometimes use language that's really lovely about, I'd like to add on to what so-and-so said. And I notice you have those talk stems up on your board there. Could you talk a little bit about how you also help them with the language that they're using? Because it sounds very conversational, and not only with the hand signals, but then with their language. So could you talk a little bit about that as well in terms of how you facilitate that?
We actually all made these, I think most of us in a professional development we had here in the building with our reading coach. We decided on some talk stems that would be good for our kids to use to begin speaking and responding to each other. And so we kind of all just made them, all of us there, and put them in our rooms and started working on the kids to where they were responding appropriately to each other. And then some of us have read books, many of us, books like Classroom Discussions in Math, and our reading coach has done several professional developments on different accountable talk sessions, actually. So.
Yeah, and could you just talk a little bit about why you feel that's so important for your students?
And I could tell, that they were really seemed to be learning more sometimes from each other talking than from me talking, where I can still tend to think that they're not learning unless my mouth is moving. So, but it's been obvious to me how much more gets discussed and how many more things get said for them to learn from each other when they get to talk and respond to each other that way.
And I think about what a wonderful lifelong skill that is, to learn how to hold a conversation and listen carefully to one another.
They also learn to listen carefully because so they could, when they're communicating with each other, they're not just waiting for me to focus in on them. So I've also noticed a difference in that. They're listening a whole lot more of them are listening because they're communicating back and forth.